Not as long as we can put up a fight, we're not.
Moonrise Towers lies ahead. We're nearing the heart of the Absolute. I'm certain of it.
We're close. I can feel it. The Absolute. Its power is strong here.
That's far enough.
His thoughts invade your own, probing for purchase. Your parasite purrs in recognition.
Ah, one blessed like myself. What news, true soul? General Ketherick's advisor went off on a field trip. Zarel's in charge till he gets back.
You'll find Zarel in the audience chamber, true soul. She'll be wanting to hear from you.
If it's an audience she desires, an audience let us provide.
Praise the Absolute.
Need meat. Make meat. Need visitors.
There can be no doubt. This is the place. This is where we'll discover the secret
Another
of the
true
Absolute.
The disciple will want to see you. Through the main doors.
Eventually.
If you have coin, then show it.
Get moving, will you?
Well, hello. What can I do for you? Well, obviously I would. But you have so many... Well, hello.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
Living without sunlight isn't so bad, Astari.
Sister.
Where I came
Pray
from,
with me while
we would often work exclusively under cover of darkness.
I never learned the words.
Yes, but you chose darkness. I was cast into it.
Can you hear her?
The sun was banished from my life,
One soul
forbidden,
of many
and
thoughts.
we all lust
One
after
mind.
the forbidden, don't we?
Ah, a new face come to bask in the light of the Absolute. How can I be of service, true soul? Of course. Just before some godless lunatic purged the place of every innocent soul. A pity neither of us saw what happened. They were a little more frothing at the mouth than faithful, true enough. Here, though, look around. All manner of beasties united against the enemies of the Absolute. Quite a god to bring them all together, and quite a fool who'd draw their ire. Hmm? More concerned that your business might be bad for my business. So don't go kicking the hive while there's still some honey to be had. An honor, true soul.
Keeps looking over. I'll feed him his own loincloth. These are our allies.
Don't mind Mig and her meat sounds. It's just her brain slopping around in her skull.
Hush! Meat sounds above. Here.
For a moment, you do hear it. Flesh sliding on stone, like a living being extending through the walls.
Big! In walls above! Maybe whole tower. Loudest near kitchen. But Mig banned. Not allowed to pet gnolls. You find meat? You share.
This is the spot that's marked on that map.
The feline eyes the parasite with a glint in her eye, intent clear. Murder. Glorious murder. The cat ignores you, but her eyes stray to a small tunnel hidden in the wall. The message is clear. Stay if you wish, but she will flee at a moment's notice.
Now that would be a prize sample. Araj O'Blordra, trader in blood and the sanguineous arts. It is a pleasure to stand before a true soul and your pale companion. I'd like to offer my services, if you're willing. Put plainly, I'd like your blood. A vial of true soul's blood, specifically. With one drop, I can brew a rather potent potion for you. The rest, I keep for myself. No idea, but it will be unique to you. Your blood essence and the Absolute's blessing intertwined. We can learn exactly what that means together, Research, naturally. A little experimentation, perhaps. I have an innate curiosity for all things sanguine. Just a little prick and it's all over. Close your eyes. There we are. All of your very best traits in a bottle. Use it well. Although perhaps there's one more thing we could discuss. Your friend. He's a vampire, no? Or one of their spawn, at least.
Oh, don't worry. We're all friends under the Absolute. I won't bite.
Oh, I'd prefer if you did. I assume he belongs to you? Ah, it's like that. Do you have a name, Spawn?
Astarian, but hold on.
Good. Now, Astarian. I've dreamt of being bitten by a vampire since I was a young girl.
I'm sorry, you want to be bitten?
To feel your life's blood slipping away. To dance on the edge between life and death. Yes, I want it. I'll even compensate you. A potion of legendary power that forever increases the strength of the one who consumes it. It's not for sale, but it's yours if you bite me.
I will have to decline.
Excuse me? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you're squandering it.
I gave you my answer.
Can't you talk some sense into your obstinate charge?
I'm sorry, but could you excuse us a moment? Are you actually asking me to do this? Trading me for some potion? Because there's something wrong with her blood. I can smell it from here. It's rank. I can't say. It just smells wrong. Unnatural. Drinking it wouldn't kill me, but it would not be pleasant.
I don't have all day, true soul.
Fine. I'll do it. Darling, I've had a sudden change of heart. After all, who could resist such a delectable neck? Hold very, very still.
Incredible. Incredible.
Oh, hells.
Not to your taste?
You're fetid, full of corruption.
I feel exquisite, though. So here's my part of the bargain. I hope you find it as satisfying as I found this. It was everything I imagined, and then more. I'll be able to put this to good use. Tremors. Like a child at her first ileatory. Saliva from the wound. Saving that. You haven't felt like prey in many moons, Araj. only. Welcome back, true soul. Come back any... Welcome back, true soul. Come back.
Keep a blade close.
Tremors. Like a child at her first iliatry. Saliva from the wound. Saving that.
Let's move.
Something slimy seems to be dripping from the rafters above. Something slimy seems to be dripping from the rafters above.
Always room for more.
Welcome back,
true soul.
come back and...
I'm not worthy. I never learned the words.
Yes, you did. She gives them to you fully formed. Can you hear her?
Of many hearts, one soul. Of many thoughts, one mind. Those we once called monsters.
They couldn't be us. They say the general wants them as serving. Where do you hail from?
I was a farrier in the Starring Valley. Then the dreams came.
My brothers had the dreams too. Same as me. They wouldn't admit it.
The Absolute calls us all to her design. Your family will answer. Eventually. Brothers, sister, pray with me while we wait.
I'm not worthy. I never learned the words.
Yes, you did. She gives them to you fully formed. Can you hear her?
Of many hearts, one soul. Of many thoughts, one mind.
One with the weave.
To stand this close to her power. I never thought I'd make it.
I've got a long road ahead.
I wouldn't have if not for the lantern bearer. To think the Absolute graced such a creature as that.
We are each of us threads in her design. Even those we once called monsters.
I will not be slandered! General, you saw my reports. You know it's not my fault.
The facts suggest otherwise. You were ordered to retrieve the artifact. You failed to do so.
If I had been given drow warriors instead of goblin trash!
Oi! What?
You scrag!
Enough!
A blast of mental energy washes over you, filling the room. Your tadpole squirms, urging you to obey.
Let me make sure I understand this. You're claiming that General Thorm gave you the wrong soldiers.
Yes. No!
You blame the Absolute's Chosen for your failure.
Of course it is not the General's fault.
Whose then?
Your mind extends outward and grasps at nothing. In Ketheric's place, you feel an absence. No psionic power. No tadpole at all.
The goblins. They failed me. They failed us all.
You lying little! And what would you do to those that have failed you?
They are put to death, obviously.
True. Ultimate failure must earn ultimate punishment. Night Warden Minthara, your crime is incompetence, and your sentence is death.
No!
Make her passing slow, Disciple Zorel. Be creative. A new, true soul come to share their wisdom? And what do you have to contribute? A pity, then, that her faith was so inadequate. Take her below.
No! Please! Mercy! Please!
Bye-bye, princess.
Kill the goblins, too.
What?
You creaking old bag of shit!
I'm so sorry, my lord. She's an unbeliever outside my control.
Try again.
No! No!
Dispose of the rest as you see fit. Or better yet, put that true soul to use. You have far more important matters to attend to. Or have you forgotten?
Of course not, my lord. Thank you. You heard the General. The goblins are yours. Deal with them however you wish. Do. Have fun. Here in the seat of the Absolute's power, your authority over them is complete. They will obey any command. Report to me upstairs when you're done.
Please! You gotta help me! For old time's sake! Oh, praise the Absolute! And praise her true soul!
Your merciful streak will be the death of us one day. Let's hope Zarel won't be too angry.
The seat of the Absolute's power, occupied by a general that cannot be killed. But his followers are flesh and blood. We must learn what fuels his power.
Ensure that the moon lanterns outside are maintained.
From this seat, Ketherick defied gods and raised an army for the Absolute.
It is disciple.
It is not particularly comfortable.
Good back support, but a little too tyrannical for my taste.
The true souls stand above you, and I above them.
Is purification.
You were adored, Minthara. Brought up from the darkness and into the Absolute's light.
She cherished you, but it wasn't enough. You were distracted by your own desires.
Bloodlust, murder, chaos.
And most damning of all, an inability to follow orders.
I obeyed to the best of my ability!
And isn't that depressing?
You are nothing.
Minthara's mind connects with yours. Not strong as you remembered, but fractured, disintegrating.
Come to observe, true soul. She is a lesson. None can rise so high that they cannot fall again. We are erasing her. No, this is our duty.
Peace, sister. Let us observe the true soul's methods. Perhaps we can learn from them. Her mind is yours. Break it.
Immediately, your mind is swept into a greater vortex, a psionic storm with Minthara at its center.
Cannot hide, submit, embrace.
Her torturers are not dominating her. They are destroying her mental defenses and exposing her to something else. The Absolute. Navigating the storm, you reach the nexus of her mind. It is a wound, bleeding raw emotion and shattered memories. But she senses your arrival.
So it is you who will end me. Make it swift, then. Anything to silence that thing. That voice. I would prefer to make these bastards bleed. But I trust that you speak from caution rather than cowardice. I will put my faith in you and pretend to be their slave.
Her mind fills with warmth, and she gently releases you.
Is it done? I did not feel her mind break.
No, my sister only meant to compliment your delicate work.
Indeed. Seems I have a bit to learn yet. We ought to return to our posts, sister. There'll be plenty more prisoners to practice on.
An ill thing to let an enemy show their back and live. Prudent. Let us go, then. I will be your mute and faithful slave. For now.
Of many hearts, one soul.
Minthara is supposed to be in a cell. You have some explaining to do. The guard is happy to let you pass. Minthara is rather less happy about your choice of words.
I would have preferred to bleed them.
Halt!
Deal with them, or I will.
We heard she'd been escorted from her cell. Not that she could leave the tower.
The General ordered that she be repurposed, not freed.
Creatures like her don't understand the concept of loyalty. Keep her on a tight leash.
I last left Moonrise as a commander in the Absolute's army. obeying the voice of a god. I thought I had found a home and a purpose. Now I leave as an exile. But you risked your life to rescue me. For that, I am grateful.
The artifact connects with her, pulling your minds together and showing her all that you have seen. The prism, your dream visitor, the protection that keeps you from obeying the Absolute and becoming a Lithid. She knows it all in a moment. Her mind reels, but is no longer clouded. She accepts the truth. She has no choice.
There is much we must discuss. Do you have a safe place to camp nearby? Goodbye for now. I will see you soon. It does not compare with the comforts of home, but your camp is almost palatial in comparison to my previous accommodation. Thank you for allowing me to come here, and for bringing me back to myself. Each memory that returns to me is more disturbing than the last. The things that I did in the name of the Absolute. The things that were done to me. They broke my mind. Strength will not save us from an enemy that can dominate our will. While our tadpoles live, and the cult have the means to control them, we will never be safe. We must eradicate them, starting with General Thorm. I mean Ketheric. My deference to him is a habit that will die hard, I fear. All that live can die. I can help you plot Ketheric's demise, but I need something from you first. Swear that you will keep me close. Until the Absolute is dead, at least. The Prism will protect me. You will fight alongside me and help me to get my vengeance. I knew you were different to other true souls when we met, but I could see nothing clearly. Now, thanks to the Prism, the Absolute does not cloud my thoughts at all. I see that together, we can have our vengeance on those who infected us. Rest well, and keep your wits about you. Tomorrow, we go to war with the cult of the Absolute. General Thorm would have the world believe that his invulnerability is a gift from the Absolute. That is a lie, intended to impress those who flock to the cult's cause, and to strike fear in the minds of those who stand against the Absolute. I believe Thorm draws his power not from a divine source, but an arcane one. Moonrise is a den of necromancy, and the most powerful practitioner of the art is Thorm's closest advisor, Balthazar. He has chambers beside the generals, on the upper floor of the tower. I suspect we will find answers there. Now, rest. We will need our strength for what lies ahead. I intend to cause plenty, but only for our enemies. I do not sleep unless I wish to. Until I feel safe among this company, I shall spend my nights planning for the fights to come. A paragon of wisdom. You wish to consult me? I was the Absolute's dagger. I remember every throat that it held me to, and every drop of blood it forced me to spill.
I take no responsibility for the lives I took. I did nothing in the Absolute's name. I was merely a weapon that it wielded.
I would rather die than endure it again. The tadpole, the Absolute, they work together like a drug. I did not feel I was compelled to act against my will. I felt ecstatic to serve. Every action seemed a deliberate choice, the best choice, even though I could no more have resisted its commands than flesh can resist decay. Even rational minds like ours cannot reject such a powerful influence. The Absolute can make the impossible seem inevitable.
I fought at his side once, shortly after my conversion. Before the battle, he was everything a general should be. A charismatic leader with a brilliant strategic mind. And when the fighting began, he led his troops from the front and cut through the enemy like a scythe through stalks. Blows and arrows rained down on him, and before long, his face was a mask of blood. But he did not fall. He did not even falter. When we won the day, Ketheric's armor was bent and shattered, but his flesh was unmarked. The necromancer Balthazar is Ketheric's chief advisor. One who has mastery over the dead may well be able to help the living cheated. We should ransack his chambers and see what secrets he keeps for the great general. I took up my oath long ago, when I swore bloody vengeance against any who defied Lolth. Now, I myself have sinned against the Spider Queen. Though my faith is shattered, my oath endures. I am sworn to destroy all those who serve the Absolute. When I have had my vengeance on the cult, I do not know if my oath will still hold. I do know that when I take the Absolute's power, I will not lose control of it as our enemies have. I will harness it to create a more perfect world. Any who object to the laws of that world will have no place in it, of course, and I will gladly eradicate them. A disparate collection of vagabonds and strays. Did you have anyone particular in mind? I have never known anyone so ferocious and unassailable in battle, and yet so fragile and impermanent in their very being. I often think of mortality as a curse. In time, all that I am and all that I have known and learned will be lost. In time, our cities will be dust. Karlach does not seem to have such anxieties. Perhaps because she cannot afford to. She exists in the moment, and she will burn out and be gone in a moment. There is something very beautiful about that. He is exceedingly self-righteous. Amusing, considering he bound himself to a devil. I will take your word for it. I only care that he is a good soldier, and he has not disappointed me on that front. I would rather be allied with a warlock than the spoiled son of a noble who has more experience with diplomats than devils. The wizard? No. It is pointless. In my experience, the moment they leave their libraries, wizards have the life expectancy of a gnome in a war. Either the enemy recognizes they are a threat and kills them swiftly, or their curiosity leads them to combust while experimenting with the limits of magic. Our wizard is already in a state of suspended combustion, thanks to that orb between his ribs. I suspect it is only a matter of time before he goes up in smoke. I will reserve my social graces for those who might live long enough to appreciate them. I have encountered few Githyanki in my life. Those that I did were raiders. They croaked out pleas for mercy in their alien tongue as they died. Meeting Lae'zel makes me wish I knew more of their culture. I did. She told me that she has nothing to teach that cannot be learned through observation of her prowess in combat. Perhaps she is right. She certainly cuts a striking figure in battle. There is a precision to her ferocity that I admire. To one who only sees the surface of things, perhaps, you should look deeper. There is a fanaticism in the Lolth swarm that lends itself to chaos. They turn their blades on one another as readily as on outsiders. The Gith have stricter hierarchies and stronger commitment to a single cause. Some, like Lae'zel, question that cause. But even so, she retains the discipline of her training. He's been deprived of freedom and strong blood for so long that he is addicted to both. While those addictions have their hold on him, he is still a slave. No. He is well aware that I would exsanguinate him entirely if he flashed his fangs at me. And while you live, you'll be enslaved to your appetites and hungers. We all feed on something, and if we are deprived of it, we will fight for it. But Astarion is not only bound to his needs and desires, he is still bound to something more powerful. His master. He will only be free when Cazador is dead. And that is as it should be. When the time comes, we must hope that he does not only take Cazador's long life, but the power that has sustained him as well. She is tolerable, but her faith in the Lady of Loss is poisonous. Who's next?
making me antsy.
Got to have a plan first. Got to trust Jaheira to come up with one.
All's well that ends.
I do.
Not as bad as it could have.
And you and me do just and you and me climbing up a tree.
It's true then. He's met Daniel. There's no other way he'd know that name. This is just what we needed. Well done. We need to wake him. He must know something about where to find Daniel. Good. Its music might help restore him. Show it to him.
Daniel! He's still trapped there. He needs help.
Calm. Breathe. You've been trapped in the Shadowfell for a century. Take a moment to clear your mind.
A century? You're Halsin. Daniel said to find you. You must help him, please.
I will, but I need to know where Daniel is. If I venture into the Shadowfell blind, I will never find him.
I'm not sure I can put it into words. The landscape there shifts and changes. Lavender. Whenever I saw Daniel, I always smelled lavender.
I can work with that. Rest now. Meet me by the lakeshore. I have what we need to proceed, but I'll need your help. Be ready. This may prove perilous.
Copper for your thoughts?
Have a lot on my mind. And, well, in it. No time to rest?
I wonder what the next move is.
In your name.
Let's get going.
Reporting.
At least things have stayed interesting.
Hmm?
Ain't my neck of the woods.
A long way to go still.
Never a dull moment.
You're here. Good. Now we can begin. Thaniel is trapped in the Shadowfell, but thanks to your efforts, I know where to look. Now I must go there, alone. With the Oakfather's blessing, I can infiltrate the Shadowfell, but doing so will sap my strength. I'll need your help if I'm to return. I need you to stay here, keep the portal open until I return, and defend it at all costs. Good. Now it's important that only I pass through the portal once it opens. The magic is fragile. Any mistake, and our one chance will be lost forever. It took me years of study, of seeking the Oakfather's favor, to find a way to part the veil. Pray that this works. Oakfather, hear me. Aid me. Force open the jaws of darkness. Make passage for your vessel of light. It's ready. I'll return with Thaniel as soon as possible. Stay close to the portal. Buy me what time you can.
redhead.
You dared scar my mind. I will gut you. Yes?
More foes. House had better get back soon. Maybe I should. This is good.
Death is but a word away.
Your time has come. Let me strike.
Gith warriors. Some must have fallen to the curse. And away I go. You picked the wrong fight, friend.
Gone with the weave.
Got to focus. Let me strike true.
Unleash me. Hardly worth my time.
Buy him a little more time. Cutting to the chase. Should get started.
Unleash me.
Need to act fast. On the move.
Your command.
Need to stay focused. Moving.
My victims await.
It's done. I have him. But something's wrong. Dreadfully wrong. No. It can't be. Yes. I'll bring him back to camp. He'll be safest with us. I need to examine him. I need to understand what's wrong. It's almost like something's missing from him. Come see us when you can.
No one back home will ever believe this.
Here.
Got to have a plan first.
There's more with
See if there's anything you need. We don't know when the next blow might land. Take care now.
Hold out the darkness forever.
Yeah? Heapside narrows at night time. 2 steps in, and you're likely to become some dagger's new sheath.
Can't sleep, so I might as well hammer. Need anything? I'll be here if you need...
Mole can be cranky and mean, but she looks after us. So stock up, all right? Because you need all the help you can get to bring her home. pleasure.
The shadows haven't consumed you. Good. Do you? Well, let us not leave you in suspense, then. You are right. She is. Because it isn't my tale to tell. And because in truth, I do not know the half of it. Only this. If she wished to see us drowned in darkness, Isabel needn't have lifted a finger. Instead, she holds out her hand. I choose to take it. I choose to trust. And not just because I have no other choice. Then you're a stronger soul than I. I, at least, have had time to prepare that, high-minded little speech. Still, if your faith ever wavers, when I find myself needing a reminder of just who Isabel Thorm is, I simply step outside and look up. She'll extend that protection to you too, if you see her. You've shown me how well you can sniff out secrets. I'd like to see you turn that nose upon Ketherick Thorm.
On with you. Unless you want to come back to a gaggle of shadow-cursed harpers.
Her breath catches. You notice a barely perceptible shudder run through her body.
An unfortunate coincidence. I hope never to meet the wicked man who hemorrhaged shadows over this peaceful village. Almost laughable that he sees himself fit to judge anyone. Did you learn anything about how we might defeat him? That's fantastic. Well done. I'm glad you've made progress. Protecting this inn, well, it takes it out of you. I'll hold out as long as I can. By the sound of things, we'll have a more permanent solution soon. So glad you're on our side. Go on, then. It belongs to the goddess Shah. According to the Harpers, it fell here when they defeated Ketherick, the one who tried to have me kidnapped. I suppose they didn't defeat him quite hard enough. Right place, right time. When a cleric of Selûne stumbles into a Sharan shadow, she's bound to set it to rights, at any cost. I could say the same. But perhaps we should save the trivia till we're on the other side of this thing. Promise not to die, and we'll celebrate with our life stories. Moon and shadow, light and dark, divine sisters ever at war. And this place has become one more battlefield. Sometimes life forces us to choose sides. Luckily, sometimes the choice is obvious.
Yes, yes, you saved me from shadow creatures. No need to gloat. I'm fine. It's Cal and Leah who need help.
Nathaniel will be so scared there alone. We looked after each other for such a long time. I hope he's all right. Something wrong. He withstood the shadows for so long. Whatever's overcome him now must be something different, something worse. I trust you and Halsin to help him. He's a sweet soul, Nathaniel. I can't wait for you to meet him.
We kept Alt safe. That's what matters. Couldn't have done it without you.
Not as long as we can put up a fight, we're not.
Good man.
Hey, soldier. Hey, soldier. About that tadpole. Glad to see you haven't gone down the tadpole slorping route yet. We still don't know if that visitor has our best interests in mind. Me? Nah. Nope. Sorry. Good. And you know, keep an eye on yourself. If you start feeling loopy, shout. We don't know what these tadpoles are capable of.
The drow is unpredictable, uncompromising. I respect her almost as much as I distrust her. Mark my words, this power would be no blessing, but a curse. You might as well ask me to gouge out my eyes for the promise of sight, or slice off my tongue for the promise of taste. The mere suggestion is an insult. Gladly.
I want to be clear. Letting Minthara tag along with us was your idea, so if you wake up with a dagger to your throat, that's on you. Excuse me? I would never. But fine. Take her if you wish. Just know I'll be resting with one eye open.
Nathaniel is resting, but it's no easy slumber. I discovered what's wrong with him. The shadows rendered him in two when they bore him away to the Shadowfell. Half of his essence remained here, amidst the curse. What stayed behind would have been the strongest part of him. But after all these years left in the darkness, corruption must have taken hold. It's both simple and not. We need to find Nathaniel's missing half and make him whole again. Only the missing half may not come willingly. The curse will have sunk its tendrils deep, twisting Nathaniel's essence into something else. No matter how it's been twisted by the shadows, it is still part of Thaniel's essence. It will resemble him somehow and may show signs of his power. Look for signs of life in the darkness, wildflowers where everything else is dead. The curse cannot subdue the power Thaniel bears. Not entirely. In fact, I saw just the sort before, not long after we first came within reach of the shadow curse. Fool that I am, I did not grasp their significance at the time. There is a ruin some way outside of Last Light. I caught a glimpse of fresh blooms there, but did not investigate further. I shall mark it upon your map. This doesn't have to be your burden alone. Every moment counts, and I've asked much of you already without being at your side. If you want me, I'm yours. Against the curse, against the absolute. Anything. Just say the word. There is no room for me, I'm afraid. Perhaps dismiss another, then I can join you. Ready at your side. Shall we continue? Last light in.
Gear up and
half
head out.
aglow and lanterns lit,
standing around
just
is
like
making
100
me
years
antsy.
ago.
Got to have a plan.
I imagine the vista was more idyllic back then, as were its patrons' chances of surviving the walk home.
And that's why we're still standing around.
Still, though, when you are expecting nothing but desolation, even a small glimmer of hope fills the heart.
The Archdruid Halsin. Do not be surprised that I know your name. You fit a rather singular description. And one survivor of the Shadow Curse's fall ought to know another. No. We were a host 100 strong, after all. Until we were not. Those of us who saw the birth of the Shadow Curse seemed doomed to return and bear witness to its work again. But I ought to warn you, Halsin. Much as it shames me, it is not the curse I come to cleanse, but the cult. And I'll pray for the Oak Father to raise the road before you. But my battle is with the Absolute. The Archdruid Halsin, and one survivor of the Shadow Curse's fall, ought to know another. No need for titles. You may call me Jaheira, so long as you are content to be known as Halsin. And the honor is mine. Your stewardship of the Emerald Grove has made for something of a story among the circles. The apprentice who survived the Shadow Curse and carried his masters home on his back, who was raised their master in turn, and searches still for a way to save what was lost. But I ought to warn you, Halsin. Much as it shames me, It is not the curse I come to cleanse, but the cult.
I won fair and square. There's no point in playing again. I want a challenge.
Though shrouded in shadows, the child's resemblance to Thaniel is unmistakable. This must be his dark half, warped by the curse.
Go on, find someone else to play with. Spoil sport. I'm not going back. I like it here. I've made a family for myself. I get to play all the time. You can't make me do anything I don't want to. I won't let you.
He's scarpered. And I suppose it's up to us to find him.
At the ready.
Taking up position.
With haste!
Want to play? Let me show you my favorite toy.
to die.
Why can't I just stay here, playing? I had everything I've ever wanted, right here! And you've ruined it. I'm not leaving. You can't make me.
Be gentle. He's much more than a child. But he doesn't truly know that. It shall be done. Oliver, nobody is making you leave. This is your home. But it is dark, empty, Lonely. I don't want you to be alone. I want you to be with Thaniel.
Why should I go back to him? He abandoned me.
No, you were stolen from each other. Neither of you are to blame. And I know your pain. I truly do. Thaniel was my friend also. I played with him, grew up while he stayed the same. He made me who I am today. And then he was ripped away from me. Same as for you. But you need not be alone any longer. You need not invent friends. Thaniel is back. He is waiting for you.
Fine. I'll do it. It might be nice to be with him again. Bye. And thank you for playing with me.
It's done, at last. Soon the land will be unshrouded. We should return to Thaniel when we can.
These lands may not be under the thrall of Lady Shah for much longer. No matter. She wishes for Ketheric Thorn to be punished. Her darkness was a blessing offered before he betrayed her. She can redirect her powers elsewhere once he is cast down. That almost is doing a great deal of heavy lifting. That man changes allegiances more frequently than a courtesan changes their bedsheets. At least he's proof you can turn from Shah and live to tell the tale. Though some may not call that living. On one hand, they seem useful. But on the other hand, or perhaps tentacle before long, we know where they're coming from. And what lies at the end of that path. I never expected Ceramorphosis to be tempting. I think we should resist these powers. There's simply too many unknowns for us to risk it. It's been known to happen. Your dance card is full. Lose a partner, and there'll be room for me. Wonderful. I was beginning to feel a little left out.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of Gale of Waterdeep. He wishes to extend you an invitation for a private conversation in a more suitable locale. Gladly. Simply follow yonder path and soon you will find him.
The druid Hausen spoke to me while I was sleeping. He spoke of you. Said that you fought shadow and spite to restore me. 100 years of sickness almost ended. I feel every root that riddles the earth beginning to unfold. But there is one anchor still holding the shadows in place. The soul that brought it into being, for the land to heal. Ketheric Thorm must die.
I don't believe it. They can't be.
Breathe, child. Resist not the winds of change. Let them carry thee.
No.
Listen. Dost thou not hear it? Where creation meets ruin, where morning meets midnight, the root of all being. Balance.
They're dead. I can't. Balance.
Your very soul is tangled in shadow. Arabella's magic, wild as cursed briar. Her talent is now yours too.
The girl must learn the ways of the arcane, but she shan't remain here. The weave knows her purpose. It will guide her plainly, if she listens. Arabella holds a power beyond reckoning, that of the decaying forest and the seedling that bore it. But it is unbalanced. Her yoke is already heavy. If she walks thy path, it will surely break. Arabella will depart once thou dost leave these accursed lands. She will find her way safely. Thus, it is fated.
Bowman, you're making me leave.
Fear not, girl. Abandon not the weave, and it shall not abandon thee.
You feel her grief fade as if it were your own. There is a lightness in her now, veiling the power within, soothing it.
Is that my future? Is that why they died?
It is.
It's wonderful. Thank you, Bowman, for being nice. If there are people like you around, perhaps everything will be all right.
Oakfather preserve you.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of Gale of Waterdeep. He wishes to extend you an invitation for a private conversation, gladly. Simply follow yonder path, and soon you...
love this time of night. There's an almost reverent silence that accompanies the peak of darkness, when you'd almost believe the dawn will never break. The cradle of eternity. The timelessness of lovers. That most beautiful of fantasies. I wanted to see you while I still could. This may be my last night alive. I wanted it to be under a canopy of beauty and wonder. I thought this place might bring me peace. I thought it might make the weight of what I must do feel a little lighter. But I'm not so sure. Thank you. But even if we do find another way, perhaps this is the right way. The end fate wishes for me. There is no point in running from the inevitable. Better to meet it on my own terms. I can feel it. Ever since we set foot in this strange, corrupted land. The closer we get, the heavier my own heart becomes. Stay with me a while, will you? Day will come all too soon, even in this place. Good night indeed. The fairest I can imagine. I was hoping to speak to you, as a matter of fact, about the night you were kind enough to keep this melancholy wizard company. I wanted to thank you. I was sinking into a dark place, but you reminded me there is still light in the world, if I should care to look for it. You may well have prevented me from doing something very rash in the near future. I count myself lucky to call you a friend. Careful. I may just take you up on that.